In, to, in previous video we have already studied about JText fields, JLabel and how to set a icon to the label. Then in today's class we are going to study swing buttons. Okay, so there are four types of swing buttons actually, that those are J button, J toggle button, J checkbox and J radio button. Already we have seen J button where we have created two buttons, alpha and beta, and on pressing on alpha we will get a response, alpha was pressed. On pressing beta we will get a response, beta was pressed, right? So that already we have seen, but still in this chapter we are going to see another example of J button. Okay, and all these buttons are actually are subclasses of abstract button class. See, abstract button class, this is a abstract class, this is abstract class. Okay, and these four classes are subclasses of this abstract button class. Okay, so whenever you are declaring a general category, at that time you are having a class called abstract button, which doesn't define what all the methods will do. So specific methods will be constructed in specific classes. That's why all these four classes are subclasses of this abstract button. Now, abstract button class contains many methods that allows you to control the behavior of the button. That if you disable a button, what the icon should be means, suppose you have a login page. In that, if you log in through an user ID, not through an administrator ID, through a normal user ID, at that time some buttons will be disabled. If some buttons are disabled, then what icon you want to set? For that we can use set disabled icon. Then set pressed icon. Pressed icon means what? Whenever we are just pressing a button, at that time icon will appear. When you release the button, another icon will appear. Okay, see, I have one example with me. So here in the subjects I have an example. Let me show you that example. My swing applet. See, in this what I'm doing is, see, roll over. When I roll over, the icon changes. When I press, the icon changes. When I release it, icon come back to the same position. See, this was what? Selected pressed icon. See, whenever I press this, see, my mouse button is pressed now. So this icon will appear. When you release it, the previous icon or the default icon will appear. So this is what actually this. Next is selected icon. Selected icon means what? When you press it, what will, when this button is selected, see, this button is selected, right? So if this button is selected, this icon. If it is unselected, again the previous icon. So then we have rollover. Rollover means what? When you roll over on this button, the icon will change. When you roll back or go outside this button, icon will goes to default one. And this is what? A disabled one. Whatever I will do, roll over, click, whatever I will do, it will not work. This button is disabled and icon I have already set. So understood? Roll over, pressed. See, if I release, the same icon, then selected, then to unselected, again I have to press, then disabled icon. So these are the four methods provided by abstract button class. Those are disabled icon, pressed icon, selected icon and rollover icon. If you want, you can do the same project that I have already done. This project for practice you can do. For practice you can create this project and you can send me the video. Okay, so after that, the text associated with a button can be read or written via following methods, and those are get text and set text. You can change the text on the button. Suppose it says alpha, at that time you can get the text on the button using get text method. And if you want to change the text on the button, and you can set it to alpha to gamma, then set text, whatever the text that you want to set, gamma. Okay, so we'll see first button, that is J button. Okay, so J button class provides a functionality of push button. Push button means your doorbell button, that once you press it, when and release it, it will come back to its original position. That's why it is called push button. Now J button allows an icon, a string, or both. See, you can allow a icon, a string, or both. See, in this I have this button here, only the icon is set. For this button, icon as well as text, and in the example alpha and beta we have seen only text. Both you can set. You can set string, name, icon, or both. Okay, now the three constructors are for those. For setting icon, this is the constructor. For setting string, this is the constructor, and for both you are using this constructor. Okay, when button is pressed, an action event is generated. That all of you have studied already in event handling chapter. Okay, so whenever a button is pressed, action event is generated, and to handle that action event, you need to write a body for action performed method. In that body, whatever you want to write for handling that action, you can write. You can do your work and proceed to next action. Okay, start associated with the button. You can set the action command by calling set action command. This already we have seen in event handling, that not only suppose there are 4 to 5 buttons. At that time, you can set a action command to each button. You can set a action command to each button. Then that button's instance will be same, and those buttons will be recognized using action commands. Okay, and if you want to get which button has called this action performed, that at that time you can use a method called get action command. You can obtain the action command by calling action command method. See, only one instance of a J button, but there are multiple implementations. At that time we are using set action command and get action command. So it will be clear in this program on page number 884. So we'll see 884. Okay, now see, we have a program here. What happens in this program, first I will tell you. Here we have 4 buttons, 1 2 3 4 buttons. Okay, with different flags, country flags. Here if you press this button, it will show you selected which country, France or what. Okay, if you select this button, you selected Japan. Okay, this information, like you selected alpha, you selected beta. Same here, 4 buttons with icons. Okay, so what is the speciality in this code is the same thing, the same packages and the same event dispatcher thread that we have already seen in the previous video. Then we have make GUI, where we are setting our layout to flow layout. Then we are setting the image icon for the first button, that is France, for France. Then you are creating an instance of a J buttons here. You are creating a button here and you are setting an icon to France. Then you are setting an action command to the same France, where F is capital. Okay, this is just a string. So then you are adding a listener. This is I have already told you that whenever you are creating a source, if that source generates an event, you need to register a listener to it. So you are registering a listener here to that. Then sir, we have studied that when we add action listener, there itself we have creating an anonymous inner class that you have seen in previous videos. But in this we are not creating any anonymous inner class. Instead of that, we are calling here this. Why? Because we are implementing action listener interface. If you are implementing action listener interface, at that time no need to create anonymous inner class. So this class is a class which is going to implement action listener interface. So in the previous examples, we have not seen any kind of implements action listener. In previous, it was just a class which has created for some buttons, then that button is going to implement action listener interface. But in this class is implementing action listener interface. That's why you are just adding the listener and you are going to write body for action performed. Now a question arises, sir, if we are implementing this action listener interface, means you are going to write the body for action performed. So we cannot write different bodies for different buttons. There will be only one body for one button. Yes, at that time how that method action performed is differentiating different types of button. We have 4 buttons here. See, in the output we have seen we have 4 buttons and action performed is only one. Action performed is only 1. How it is going to differentiate? This is this button, this is that button. That's why we are setting a action command. Okay, see, once the J button is created, you have set the icon, then you are setting the action command, then you are registering the listener, then you are adding that button to the content pane. Then again you are creating another icon. See, you will understand here, another icon for another button. Here you can see that we are not creating a new object here. See, we have created a new object and we have added to the pane, right? See, again the same instance we are using here to create another button which set to a Germany, and its action command is Germany, and it is registered to a listener. We are adding to the content pane. Same with Italy button and same with Japan button. So what happens when that particular button is pressed? So the label is created. For the, you need a label, choose a flag. So when you select one of the button, it will show you selected Japan. So not for every button, for corresponding buttons. Okay, so you are adding that label. Now see, action performed is only one for four buttons. What are you doing? JLab.setText. You are setting this label from choose a flag to what? You selected AE.getAction command. So if you press this France button, so it has been set to action command called France, right? So when you click it, its control will be transferred here and the set label will be set to you selected AE.getAction. What was the action command for France button? France. So it will be passed here and it will be displaying you selected France. So this type of thing you can use in your registration forms also. Okay, so registration forms also. So why we need only one method for implementing different buttons? That select a country in a registration forms. Okay, many things will be there. So at a different situation you can use this type of code. Okay, so it's not necessary that always you have to use this type of code. You can use different code also. Okay, now we move on to, after J button we have G toggle button. It's like your electric switches in your home. You had a doorbell, right? When you press it and release it, it will take a original shape. So electric switches that you have, electric buttons, once you tap on it, it will come from off state to on state. Then again you press on it, it will go to on state to off state. Just like that the toggle button is. A toggle button looks like a push button, but it looks like a push button, looks like a J button, but it acts differently because it has two states, pushed and released. So J toggle button defines a constructor, only one constructor that we are seeing here in this example. It is J toggle button, the string that you want to set to the toggle button. You can set icon to this toggle button also. Okay, but for the example that we are going to study, we have used only this constructor. Okay, so by default the button is in off position. The default position of this J toggle button is off. Okay, so like J toggle button generates an action event each time it pressed. So you can write a body for action performed. Action event means what? Body. You can write a body for action performed. As well as J toggle button supports item event that we have already studied in event handling. If you don't know what is action event and item event, please refer my previous videos. In that, item videos is for specific events and action event is for specific events. So now here J button only supports action event. J toggle button supports both action event as well as item event. What happens in item events? So to handle the item events, you must implement the item listener interface. To handle the action event, you need to implement action listener interface. To handle item event, you need to implement item listener interface. Okay, now if you want to know what is the state of a J toggle button, what's the state of a J toggle button, if you want to know, then you can use item state change, that the state of that item button has been changed from on to off, off to on. Okay, sorry for the disturbance. See, from on to off or off to on. Okay, now using this method you can query what its state has been changed or not. So what I recommend is, instead of this method item state changed, you directly use is selected. Is selected, if it is selected it will return true, otherwise it will return false. Okay, so if the button is selected, what to do? If it is not selected, what to do? So we will see a program on page number 886. See a program on 886. See in this, actually first I will show you the output. Okay, first let me show you the output, then I will explain the code. So in this, what happens is, you are creating a J toggle button which has a label on and off, and one label button is on. See here what you are doing, creating a class, and the class name is what? J toggle button demo. Okay, finish, then we'll have this code. Run this. So you are seeing one button which says on and off. Button is in off position. By default it is off, right? When I click on this, see, suddenly the appearance of that button changes. It becomes it becomes pressed, like so, and the label is button is on. When I press it again, button is off. It looks embossed now. So this is what a toggle button will perform. Now see a program on this page 886, what actually it is doing, it's very simple program. See, what you are doing is, you are creating one class that extends JApplet, that all of you know, we have studied in the previous videos. So you are creating a label, one J toggle button, done, right? Then you are creating a event dispatcher thread, then you are setting the flow layout, then you are initializing your label to button is off, because default value of J toggle button is off. Then you are creating that button with a label on, bar, off. You can have anything over here. Okay, this is user defined. You can have anything here. This is user defined. Okay, now then you are adding a listener here. In the listener, I am using item listener here. This author is using here item listener. Then you are creating an anonymous inner class which is implementing item listener interface and writing the body for item state changed. If the item state is changed and if the button is selected, you need to set jlab.setText button is on. Change the label to button is on. Else, if it is not selected, jlab.setText button is off. Very simple program. Done. Add the button, add the label. So, have you understood what is this J toggle button? J toggle button. So, we have studied today J button and J toggle button. So, in the next class, we are going to study J checkboxes and radio buttons. Okay, radio buttons. So, for the current session, this is enough. Okay, this is enough. So, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.